Somehow, we chose what would be the hottest week of the entire summer. Each group that goes to the Hawk Mountain Conservation Corps gets their own trip that caps off their experiences, putting to use everything they learned during their 3 years of service learning projects. Our group was going on an epic pack rafting trek that was set to cover over 40 miles of trail, rail, and river throughout 4 different counties over the span of 3 days. I love being outside, and hiking the entire Appalachian Trail has been on my bucket list since I was young, so I was excited to get a taste of being on the trail for longer than one afternoon. The first day was by far the longest, but it felt the easiest. We managed to cover 16 miles of trail, paddle 14 miles of river, as well as take a 2-hour train ride and a long rest as dinner to wait for the cool of the night to come. We finally pitched our tents around 1 a.m. after one of our team members vomited along the steep climb from the river to the mountain ridge. Our mentor was afraid this was a sign of dehydration and did not want us to keep going that night. The next day, we cheated a little bit by getting a shuttle around one of the rockiest portions that would have put us under the high noon sun without any shade at all. I was disappointed that this meant we weren't going to have made a complete loop, but hiking packs are heavy enough with just the equipment needed for eating and sleeping. But we also had the weight of our pack rafts, paddles, life vests, and helmets too. So I was grateful for an afternoon of napping as we waited to cover more miles by night. You learn a lot while hiking, like how to make oatmeal right in its packet and how to wrap your feet in duct tape to avoid blisters, among other things. Although despite our measures, blisters, an unusual amount of activity, being eaten alive by bugs, and what I thought was a giant blister in the center of my back from where my pack sat, made everything hurt. By the 3rd day, I couldn't tell you which part of my body hurt most. All I knew is that we made it to North Lookout by lunchtime, and it was all we could do to stumble the last mile back to the visitor center. After we got off the trail, it became apparent which part hurt most. My back was in so much pain. It definitely was not a blister, but what I later learned was a MRSA boil that had the perfect conditions to form, as bacteria had been pinned under my shirt for 3 days. Looking back now, I don't know how I finished that trek, but somehow I persisted down the trail. I still love to hike, and it's one of my favorite ways to spend time outside. But I learned on that hike that some of the things you love most are hard too. No matter what aspect it is you love most about life, you will find hardships. You will have to keep going even when it takes every ounce of effort you have left. You might have to put duct tape on your feet, take a nap till things cool down, but ultimately you must push forward. If you do not persist with the things that you love, you will never reach a future you enjoy. To truly love something is to not give up on it, whether it's the people around you or the things that you do. For the sake of a life that you enjoy, it's worth it. Love is persistence.